Hey, it's Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb, and on this episode, I'm going to interview Steve from Going Gonzo on keto and intermittent fasting. Coming up next. Hi guys, if we don't know each other, hi, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Low Carb. I have lost 50 pounds through keto and through intermittent fasting, and I have the #1 Amazon new release, Mom's Guide to Ketosis. Go get you a copy. I also have a free resource, which I'm so excited about. It's my new free printables. Links are all in the description below. 24 hours, 48 hours of fasting, so you can help motivate yourself, and you can fill in the little hearts as you do your fasting. I am so excited about this. I've got them on my refrigerator, bathroom mirror, office. I'm plastering them everywhere to help motivate me because I want to get to the 48-hour marker. Go ahead and click share. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you click like and make sure you click subscribe. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
I couldn't find out where you were.
I know, my different locations. I am so excited today to talk with Steve from Going Gonzo. I have all of his information links below. We need to get your Facebook link. So while we're doing that, can everybody make sure we share this? I think it's important that everybody share from a gentleman's perspective, a lady's perspective, the countess perspective with Steve. But I am so excited to talk with Steve because he has had major results through keto. And when people tell me their numbers, I'm like, oh, like that gets my attention. So can you give a brief introduction of yourself, of your numbers, your background story, because it's so fascinating?
Sure. I was I'm a Marine, so I have that jarhead kind of mentality. I try to look at everything the way it is, not the way it could be or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started to do diets and stuff, because I gained weight, because when I was in the military, I was always exercising, losing weight and everything, and it was easy. You know, we were killing ourselves physically, and then I just never stopped the eating. So
yeah,
I started to gain a lot of weight, and then I got injured. I lost my leg, broke my back, lost my ear, the hearing of my ear, my hand, stabbed twice. It was bad. There were a lot of injuries involved. So PTSD was involved. So a lot of things were going against me, and I wasn't about to let it get me. So I decided I'm going to try to lose some weight. So I was looking at all different kinds of ways to lose weight, and I thought I had it figured out one time, and it didn't work out because I gained the weight back, and I tried another way, and I gained the weight back. And then when I went to keto, nothing made sense. It was just like, I told my wife, who's very supportive. She's not keto, but she's very supportive. But she's 105 pounds, so
yeah,
she's had the luck of genetics somehow.
Yes.
But she's been my #1 fan, and she just said, just do what it says. So years ago, now it's been 5 years, I put forth the effort. I said, all right, he says to eat this. He says to don't eat that. He says to eat fats. He says don't eat sugar. I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. So I studied it. And as I studied it, I implemented bits and pieces of it, and it started to work. And the first time I measured myself after I saw results and I started taking pictures was when I was 378 pounds. Now, that's after I already started seeing results.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I was at.
Yeah.
But it wasn't pretty. It wasn't a good thing. I have pictures now. I don't know where they all are, but yeah, I got up there really high. I'm down 163 pounds now. I worked a night shift for 15 months. So I proved that you can actually lose weight while working the night shift. That was hard. Because the sleep I found was really important for me. Yes. Because sleep was really messing me up.
Yes.
Sleep was like, even though I was trying to watch what I was eating, it was the sleep that was kicking my butt. So I started to lose the weight, and then people started at first people were like, yeah, sure, he's going to lose weight, you know, and you know, 400 pounds, 6'3". I was a big guy, and I wasn't carrying it well, even though my wife says I carry it well. No, I wasn't. I could see the mirrors, you know, I could look in the mirror and I could see, and I have these pictures somewhere. I have a poster. I just got done doing a seminar yesterday, and I don't know what I did with the poster board. I think it's, I don't know. My gym bag's a mess. What did I do with it? I lost it. I don't know. But anyway, I lost 163 pounds. I studied my butt off, and then
through keto.
I just wanted to start teaching everybody. I just wanted to teach everybody what I knew, because everything I thought I knew, I was wrong. And I now it's my mission to go out there and help everybody to figure out, get all this misinformation out there. It's still out there. People are still trying to misinform people, and people that I have found that just like everything I've done and everything they say clicks. And that's going to be like Dr. Jason Fung and Dr. Barry. And that's how I found you, was through Dr. Barry. I saw you and him get along like two peas in a pod. So
he's a brother from another mother. So I love Dr. Fung and Dr. Barry. So what is the biggest, you talk about misinformation, what is the biggest top 2 or 3 things of misinformation that you see for keto that you would like to dispel? Myths you'd like to dispel of keto?
Well, one of them isn't what they really harp on, and that's you have to eat. You have to eat food. Like, they do point this out, but you have to eat. You can't come into this diet with that mentality of cutting calories. Already down to some people I run into, oh, bless them, they're at like 1,200 calories already. And they come into the ketogenic diet, and then they don't get hungry, and then they end up eating like 600 or 700 calories a day, and then they ask me, why am I not losing weight? And I just explained to them, you have to get over this fear of food. You have to get past this fear of fat. You have to get past the idea that sugar is going to be okay once in a while, or carbs, or you can have a cheat meal every now and then. It's just, to me, it's not cheating when you get rid of this food. It's just like a heroin addict just doesn't say, well, I'll just do heroin once in a while. No, you when you get off that sugar or that heroin, you get off that sugar or heroin. You don't go, well, I'll just try it once in a while and I'll be okay. It didn't control me and screw me and mess me up for my whole adult life already. But so that's the way I look at it. I look at it as, there's no reason to cheat. This food is really, really better. The food is so much better on keto than it is with any other low fat, low calorie diets. It's just nonsense.
What is your favorite meal?
I knew you were going to ask me this, and I have no idea. I literally like them all. I run into favorites every now and then, but I'm kind of a creature of consistency. My meal for breakfast, I don't think has changed in 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, I eat the same thing. My wife comes home like 2 or 3 days a week with more eggs and more bacon. We get it from the same store. I cook it up on the same griddle. I do the same things. It is very consistent. But I've run into people that try to be that consistent, and they get bored with it and everything. It happens. I get it. So I try to add things every now and then, but it just does. I always go back to eggs and bacon, and then I'll add my bulletproof coffee. And the one thing that I think I really like as a meal that I kind of created myself is the bulletproof coffee with an egg.
Oh,
and
is it cooked?
I know. That's the reaction everybody gets.
Is it cooked?
No, it's not cooked. No.
Oh my gosh!
You can't cook it and put it in here. So
I didn't know you had floating bits.
Yeah, my buddy loves this thing. He's like, "Where did you get that?" I was like, "I don't even remember. I just picked it up somewhere."
That's a pretty cool thing.
But it's an awesome little thing, and I use the emulsifier. You know, the long stick emulsifier. Yeah. Because every time I did the bulletproof coffee and it was in the morning, and I'd put hot coffee in there, it would pop. I'd have coffee all over the place, all over my uniform. Because it was just like, I'm getting ready to go to work and I have coffee all over me. And I'm just like, oh, I don't need this morning. So I found one of these. I do the emulsifier. I do the bulletproof coffee just like anybody else does. And then I crack the egg and I drop it in there. And then when I zip it up, all it does is turns your coffee frothier, no taste, but it adds protein to your coffee.
Everyone is saying how much they love egg in their bulletproof coffee.
Yeah. I started
learned
a
little
trend.
something today. You have. Woo!
Yeah. I know there's a lot of people that have made videos after they talk to me about it, and then they start publishing these videos, and then people are like, "Ooh, no." And once they try it, it's not bad. Especially if you're in a hurry. You make your coffee, you throw your egg in there, you blend it up. You never notice.
Jeez. So we're going to take a little break. For people who are just joining us, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, make sure you share this video. I know that a lot of folks that are with the Countess probably don't know Going Gonzo on YouTube. Check out the YouTube channel and go subscribe to Steve's channel as well. Also below is the Facebook page, his Facebook page. Make sure that you go ahead and like that as well. True Keto is the Facebook page. Go over there, check it out. And then same thing for Steve's folks. Come check me out too. I've lost 50 pounds through keto. So Steve, have you done solely keto, or do you do fasting in with your keto?
I do fasting now. I didn't want to think that fasting could work. I thought, no. I have to eat to lose weight. I always knew, I used to always tell people, eat more to lose more. Stop trying to cut back on your food. But once you get to a point, which was, I've always said this is the goal. It's not ketosis is the goal, but but getting into fat adaptation is the goal. And people always wonder, well, what is it? And there's just no way of testing for it. There's no way of knowing whether you're fat adapted. That's the problem with it. I wish there was some sort of test where you could pick your finger and say, oh, look, I'm fat adapted. There's one for ketosis, and that's good. It is a good sign that you are utilizing fat for energy, but are you at that stage where your body has given up on trying to utilize sugar or trying to make its own sugar? That's the point where you have to get past. So once you get past that point, you become fat adapted to it, and like everything just becomes so much easier. And then like when I fast now, I could feel the energy just adding up. When I used to skip meals, not on purpose, I would miss a meal, I would start to feel sluggish. I would feel crappy. I'd feel bad because I was dependent on those sugars. And now that I'm dependent on fat, I don't ever feel it. I literally, if I didn't like bacon and eggs so much, I would probably fast for, I don't know, days. Because I don't get hungry until this was something I just saw that Dr. Fung proved how it's based on hormones and not calories. He says, if you smell some food and then you get hungry, he said, that's a hormone thing. Because what if you just ate as much as you could, you were full, and you smelled that same thing? Is it still going to make you hungry? No, it's gonna make you queasy, and you're not going to eat it. He says it's not a choice when we eat. It's done by hormone, and it triggers our hormones, and we just eat because our hormones are telling us to eat, and our hormones tell us when to stop, and our hormones tell us how much fat we're gonna store, and our hormones do everything. So it's always based on hormones. Everything your body does is based on hormones, and he goes through everything. He's amazing. I'm probably read each of his chapters 2 or 3 times already. Obesity Code.
I thought I had it down here.
And Dr. Barry, he just makes me laugh every time I watch him because he's amazing. He knows so much stuff, and he says it with that Tennessee accent, and he just cracks me up.
Someone asked, going from 200 pounds, I've lost over 200 pounds by my math, 250 pounds. To go from that, have you fallen off the wagon, and have you fallen off the wagon through that period?
Sure. Yeah. I've fallen off numerous times. One time that I know for sure, I didn't want to, but I was at my niece's daughter's first birthday, and here's a big giant piece of cake. And I looked at my wife, and my wife was like, eat it. She goes, don't you say anything. I'm like, all right. So I ate the whole piece of cake. And it happened to be the corner piece with all the frosting. And I was just like, I was eating it, and it didn't taste good. No offense to her, but sugar doesn't taste good to me anymore. And when I ate it, I was out of ketosis for days. And then recently, I thought these bars that I saw on another channel, Rich Piana bars. Rich Piana is a bodybuilder that literally was the first guy I ever heard say keto diet on one of his videos. Now, he's a big steroid user, and he's self-admitted, and he's dead now. But he died last year. So I forget why, but it was controversial, I think. But his products are still out, and these bars were recommended. They have a high fat, they have a low carb, they have no sugar, and I ate them, and I spiked to 150 somehow, and I've never spiked that high. Like, I could eat all day long, I could eat whatever, and I won't even hit 90.
Is this glucose we're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I tested my glucose, I hit 150, and I was just like, So now, what am I going to do with these bars? I don't know, but I'm off the wagon as of right now. So now I'm crawling back up, tucking my tail between my legs, get back on that wagon, and just back to what I was doing.
Right.
Because if you do something, whether it's intentional or not, the result's the same. So you just get back on the wagon, you start over. That's
right.
It. Don't dwell on it. Don't beat yourself up. Just, okay, it happens, you know.
Right.
You know, like, oops, I went to a cookout and I ate potato salad. Well, it was a choice. You ate that potato salad.
That's
you
right.
knew it was going to do what it was going to do.
Right.
So now you just got to deal with it. And a lot of times when you get fat adapted, you bounce back quicker.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
Two people are asking about hot chocolate. Can you have hot chocolate instead of bulletproof coffee?
No.
Why?
I haven't found any. Unless there's some hot chocolate out there. My wife will tell you, I used to be a hot chocolate nut. I've got packs of stupid Swiss Miss in the basement with marshmallows, without marshmallows. I used to coach football, high school football, and my kids would actually, their parents would bring a big thing of hot cocoa over to me at halftime, you know, because it was cold up here. And you know, everybody knew I drank hot cocoa, and now I can't drink it anymore, and I can't find it. I can't find it. If it's good, if there's a good one for you, I hope somebody in your group knows it and can put me on the right path, because I love cocoa. I just can't find it.
Likewise, I was going to say, not in my search. If someone has a link for one, personal message me. Don't put it in this. Don't put it in the Facebook Live, but personal message me. Countess of Low Carb. I would love to see it before, you know, promoting it or whatever. But it should have. It's all sugar based. We were big hot cocoa fans here too, and
they hide, and then but then you get to the point where I love cocoa, but I loved like this much cocoa and this much marshmallow. So Then I'm gonna have to find a fix for the marshmallow. I'm gonna have to find a fix for the cocoa, and I haven't had cocoa in 5 years now.
Sugar-free cocoa? Is that? Do you think? Is that still?
No, I haven't really looked into it because when I vowed to get off of sugar, I vowed all sugars for a while in the very beginning, and now I slowly bring stevia back, and I find that most of the products don't have stevia, so I just get disappointed trying to look anyway. Yeah. Now, I've probably looked at cocoa. I just don't remember right now, but I'm sure it was sweetened with something else.
Yeah. I get concerned when I hear sugar-free products, and Steve, I don't know if you feel the same way, but for me, that's a big trigger for two parts, that it leads me back into carb addiction of craving carbs hardcore. And then also it's just not good for my system. Do you find it that way too, Steve?
Yeah, I find that some of the sugars, like erythritol and stevia, I'm good with. But xylitol,
you are good with them. See, even with those, for me, are still make later on. I mean, even though they're keto approved, they still for me have triggers.
Xylitol, sucralose, aspartame, monk fruit. They're all keto approved too. They won't spike your blood sugar, but they spike mine. So no matter if something is keto approved or not, you kind of got to check it out for you, because we all are a little bit different in certain ways. I knew somebody that heavy whipping cream knocked them out of ketosis. Yep. And so many people on keto do heavy whipping cream and have no issues at all. So it's great that you don't have issues with, that you're not supposed to have issues, but you still have to check and see, am I going to have these issues or am I not going to have these issues? Yeah. And it just depends on you. That's all. Because if the Countess has no issues with heavy whipping cream, and then I do it and I get it, then I blame the Countess.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You would. No, that's what I find is fascinating about keto is that, and same thing with fasting, right? Of like, I'm a hardcore, like, I die for Dr. Funk. Like, I love his material. It's scientifically based, but there's so many different things to fasting. I'm kind of like, well, each their own, but this is what I follow. But you do you, if that works for you. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's kind
Yeah.
of like what works for everybody's bodies. Someone's asking, what's your favorite keto sweet treat?
Fat bombs. That's just
Mm,
when I get that hunger pain, or
yeah.
I'm looking for something to eat. I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm looking for something sweet or something
Yeah.
with carbs in it. My body's just trying to fight back a little bit, like that set weight that Dr. Fung talks about.
Mm-hmm.
He says, so instead of satisfying it with that carb, or like looking for carbs, opening the refrigerator and looking for carbs, or satisfying it looking for something with sweet, I have fat bombs in the freezer. And I know what they're made out of. They're made out of like cacao, sesame seed butter. It's like a peanut butter. I put some almonds, or I put macadamia nuts inside them, and I freeze them in little cubes, and I'll eat one of them. And then I'll wait a while, and then I'll drink some water about a half an hour after that and see if it checks that. Because your body tends to not know the difference between hunger pain and dehydration. So most of the time when people are eating, they're actually more thirsty, and they just have to satisfy that. So.
For fasting, bouncing back to fat, there's this fly, and I'm so sorry if you guys are seeing, we live next to a cow
No, we
pasture.
don't see
There's
it.
literally this fly that, and I'm like, I'm trying to maneuver around the fly. For fasting, what is your fasting? What do you do for fasting?
All right, for fasting, my rule is this: if I have some sort of count in my macros, it's not fasting to me. Okay? If it's butter, if I put butter in my coffee, I'm not fasting anymore. If I put MCT oil, it's not fasting anymore. I'm really strict on that as far as if you're fasting, you're fasting. It's black coffee or water. That's it. So you either learn to do it that way, or you don't, or you're not ready for it yet. And then so many people want to rush this intermittent fasting. And all I tell them is, say, listen, the definition of that intermittent fasting, really first and foremost, is get rid of the snacks. Get rid of your snacks in between. So you're intermittently, where you used to eat breakfast, eat a snack, eat lunch, eat a snack, eat dinner, eat a snack, go to bed, and start that whole process all over again. You kept your insulin up and down all day long. So try in the beginning, cut out the snacks in between the meals. And if you can do that, then you might want to cut out one of the meals, whether it's the lunch or breakfast, or it depends on the person. If you're not a breakfast person anyway, it's probably easier to cut out breakfast. If you don't like eating late at night, then cut out the late at night. If you're too busy during the day and you like to skip a meal in the middle, skip a meal in the middle. But you're going to have to figure out what works for you, and try and see how it feels for you. But if you feel like you're fasting, you're not ready for it. You just have to allow your body to slowly adapt to intermittent fasting, so that your body utilizes that fat for energy and you don't feel those lows. Because the whole goal is to keep that insulin at bay. Don't push like when I know I've gained weight one day, it's because I ate breakfast, then I ate a snack, then I ate lunch, and then I tried to skip because I knew I felt bad, but then I felt hungry, so I knew I was screwing up, so then I ate dinner. And the other part of that fasting I would really suggest is, when you're trying to do this, eat more fat during those meals. If you want to satiate yourself by eating the higher fat, so that it'll carry you through to the next meal. And whether that meal is skipping from breakfast to dinner, then it's skipping from breakfast to dinner. But feel satiated, because when you feel hungry, just eat. Fast is over. Once you feel hungry, eat. Just eat.
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit, because Dr. Fung's my homie. He's the daddy of fasting. He says we can have, on page 254, he says we can have fats. So you think that, even because it's not spiking our insulin, it's just a little bloop.
Fats.
So you say no. You say no fats.
Fats are probably the only one that's really questionable, because it doesn't spike your insulin. The goal is to not spike our insulin, granted, but it's really hard to get a fat in without getting anything else. And I guess bulletproof coffee is that way. And I've heard that some people say, well, you know, it's a maximum of 50 calories or it's a maximum of 100 but you know, I don't know. For me, I don't feel like I'm fasting. Like I wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go to work.
Wow.
And if I have a bulletproof coffee, which is something I usually would do, I don't feel like I fasted until 2 when I get off of work. Mm-hmm. Now, when I don't have that coffee, I feel better during my 8 hours of work. I feel more focused at work. Mm-hmm. And then when I get off at 2 o'clock, I'm okay. I'm ready to have my bacon and eggs. And that's what I do. I come home, I have my bacon and eggs, and I feel better. And then every day I come back and I lose a half a pound or a pound or a quarter of a pound. I lose something. Yeah. So.
You have mad respect for me, Steve. Because you're a service person, and to me, you've been of a service in the service. That to me deserves so much respect. That you're a hero to me. When anyone who serves in our military, I give the greatest respect for. And also that you lost your leg, you had hearing, you blew out your back. I mean, just all these things that you've overcome. To me, the resilience in that story, like that, to me is absolutely incredible. And your story is absolutely incredible. It's motivating that if you can do it. And if I can do it, anyone can do this. You know what I mean? Like anybody can do this.
Yeah. I say, listen, if I could do it, I'm not some superhero or something. I was a fat guy with an eating problem, couldn't figure it out, and lazy like you wouldn't believe. I knew more shows on TV than I knew people that I used to hang out with. You know, so I had to flip-flop those things. So, you know, it wasn't easy. You have to really want to do what you're going to do. And then when you change it, it's not that hard. Because honest to God, I was one of the laziest people you're going to see. There were times I wouldn't do anything in the daytime. Like I probably could have just laid in bed if I had my eyes closed. And I was just lazy. But I got past it. Now I overdo things, and people are like, "How do you get in all the energy to do this and do that?" And I just keep going. I say, "I just got to keep going." Yeah. So they're like I do the YouTube channel, like a couple different ones. I do a lot of different things. I'm always shopping. My wife gets mad at me for that, but I shop. I shop more than a woman, I think. But it gets me out. Yeah.
Right.
And I go to stores. And I feel weird because I'm pushing the cart around and I got all this decorative stuff in the house, and people look at my cart and they'll look at me and they'll be like, come on, man, I could have taste. And I decorate my whole house, and my wife, everybody comes over and they go, "Oh, wow, your house is so beautifully decorated." Or like I remodel my kitchen or I remodel my den. I constantly remodel.
Steve, do you shop at Home Goods?
We don't have one.
Oh, man. I was going to say, if you had shopped at Home Goods, I love that. That place is my jam. Or TJ Maxx. Do you guys have TJ Maxx?
Yep, we have TJ Maxx.
Do you
and
like
we
TJ
have,
Maxx?
What's that sister one? Marshalls?
Yes.
Yeah, we have Marshalls. We have this new one called Tuesday Morning. You ever heard of that?
Yes.
Yeah, it just came. I just went and spent like $150 there yesterday. For what? I don't know.
I don't know.
Stuff I didn't need. I went and bought the rings. Yeah.
You can join me on Countess of Low Carb on Wednesdays. We have keto on a budget. You can join us on that for your shopping date.
Yeah.
Well, I have loved talking with you. Everybody, please make sure you like this video, click subscribe, click share. Down below in the description will be all of Steve's, well, it is there, Steve's Going Gonzo on YouTube, also his Facebook group. Go over there, skedaddle over there and like it. And Steve's folks, you're over here, make sure you like Countess of Low Carb on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm going to be on your Facebook next week, so everybody can join us over there so we can continue our conversation. But gosh, I enjoy talking with you, like sincerely. Thank you.
Do we want to answer any of these questions, or what do we want to do?
I have to get my little boy in 2 minutes, so let's power through them. Can you power? Someone's asking, how many veggies do you get in? That's a good question.
2 handfuls of leafy greens, 1 handful of crunchy greens. That's it.
A day.
It's pretty set. A day. I don't count my calories. I don't count my carbs. I don't count my proteins. When I hit a stall that lasts for more than 2 weeks, maybe I'll count a little bit, but I do pretty much like what they would consider lazy keto. I just don't write things down anymore. Yeah. Doesn't mean I haven't ever, because I do. I like the idea of writing it down in a journal, figuring out how many did I eat? How did I feel? How was the weather that day? Did I lose weight? you can't get all that from an app, but I'm not down in all the apps, but
Yeah.
I think a lot of
And they
apps
take our
restrict
information.
calories.
People do use apps, and I'm like, ooh, my husband does data information. Like they're taking your information. Like that's why I'm wary of apps too.
Yeah, big brother. Yeah, so my carbs, that's easy one. I never go over 20 carbs.
Yep.
I don't believe I've been over 20 carbs in
20 carbs or
years.
net carbs? Do you do net carbs or
I fought that battle too.
Yes.
I fought the battle, net carbs, and I understood the difference between what they were saying. All right, insoluble fibers. I talked with Dr. Eric Westman personally about it. I asked him what his position was. Yeah. He said some people can digest insoluble fiber. So that's why he's a total carb guy. So I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, I guess I could see that. But then I drifted slowly over because everybody started going net carbs, and it made sense. So I'm more on the net carb guy now.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue our conversation because we have questions, and what I would love everyone to do is put your questions below in this grouping on Facebook, because I'll pull them next week. We can talk about them when I'm over on Steve's Facebook group, and we can continue the conversation. But my little boy, my most important title is being a mama, so I got to go get my little boy.
Hey, so he's feeling better then, right?
He's off antibiotics. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. It was so nice talking with you, Steve. Thank you so much. Great information.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good day. Bye.